Welcome to the Art of Hitting channel. This is Ed Rose. I want to share with you the history, as I know it, of the overlap grip in Florida from my perspective after 60 years in the game. I didn't learn the overlap grip from YouTube or instruction videos. I learned it by watching hitters, starting back in 1966, when all you had was your eyes and experience. I came into softball after walking away from semi-pro baseball. I wanted more action, more involvement, more competition, and early on, I noticed something interesting. I didn't see many players using what I later learned was the overlap grip, but every one of them could hit. For years, I stayed with a standard stack grip, but the real turning point came when I committed to the overlap grip, and I want to be honest about why. I used to say my goal was to hit more line drives and keep the ball in the yard. But the truth is, I wanted the ball elevated more often, and I wanted it to leave the yard. The overlap grip helped tremendously with elevation. I didn't lose control. I gained it. Balls that used to stay on the line started carrying. Pitches I could never lift before started jumping. That grip turned me into a legitimate power hitter, not by swinging harder, but by creating better leverage and bat speed through the zone. And it didn't just change how far I hit the ball. It changed what pitches I could hit. Here's where the physics come in. When the overlap grip is done correctly, it increases the effective lever. And in basic physics, a longer lever can create more angular velocity. More angular velocity means more bat speed, and more bat speed means more energy transferred to the ball. That's why I always say it's not just wrist snap, it's leverage. But here's the part people miss. You can't just put your right hand over your left and call it overlap. If you don't actually extend the bat and let the barrel work, you might change the pivot point a little, but you won't get the real benefit. And the real benefit is bat speed that shows up in how the ball flies. The other big advantage is pitch coverage. The overlap grip can help you drive pitches you couldn't drive before. Pitches you used to roll over jam or hit weak, not just make contact, but hit with authority. Over the years, I've coached hundreds of players, and I can honestly say this. I've never coached someone into the overlap grip who wasn't happy they made the change. Some of those players started out as regular league guys. Today, they're playing against and with some of the best teams in the state. But let me be clear about one thing. Changing grips alone doesn't make you a home run hitter. You still have to put in the work. You still have to build timing, mechanics, and confidence. The overlap grip can raise your ceiling, but you still have to earn it. Overlap isn't magic, it's leverage. But leverage without reps is just a new grip. Clip from way back, and let Bob tell you.
Right from back here, get to there.
It's good stuff, but it's not for everybody.
No, well, we got body difference.
Well, that's kind of, hitting's an art in softball. You can do, DC, right? I mean, he doesn't do a lot of things right, but he's a, 700-800 hitter.
Yeah.
But let me, we had a guy that I convinced, that switched to overlap grip this week. And, first time he did it, he looked like he got faster to the ball, and that wasn't just my observation. That was the other guys around.
Well, here it is.
Why?
We've talked because here it is. The bat is 34 inches long.
Uh-huh.
All right. If you do your traditional baseball grip,
Uh-huh.
all right. Again, we just talked about the pivot point in the hand being right here. Okay. So the pivot point is starting from here to here. So we've got about 5 inches of hands. So now this is really 29 inches of lever, okay, going from here. Now if you overlap, the pivot point is starting here, and now you've got 28
So it does make you quicker.
inches of
Makes you quicker to the ball?
Well, it makes the lever longer.
Longer. So you get there quicker,
And the
basically.
longer the lever, the greater the speed at the end of the lever.
Oh, okay. I heard that. I saw that one.
Same as the driver in the bag versus the pitching wedge.
I saw that in one of your videos I was watching, and I totally agree with that.
This is for distance and more bat speed. But because of this grip, you're going to lose a little bit of barrel control.
That's what I found.
You lose a little bit of barrel control. So this is for big, strong guys.
I ain't no big, strong guy.
Want even more leverage and more. They want more whip. It makes your lever longer, but it's a little harder to control.
Yeah.
That's why Pete Rose choked up.
Well, I agree on choking up.
Rose choked up to make the lever shorter so he could control it better.
Well, every time I had two strikes on me in baseball, I choked up, dude, and just made contact. Isn't that what you teach still?
So why doesn't anybody choke up in softball?
That's a good question.
Tell me that.
Yeah, that's a good question.
I do these days. I get to Vegas and I choke up. And even just 1 inch on this bat with a baseball grip, now I just feel like I can hit it wherever I want. I got total bat control and I can hit that ball wherever I want.
If
And
players
keep it in the
had your
yard.
swing, dude, they could do a lot of things. You have one of the perfect swings. I'm gonna put that in this clip too. Okay, buddy. Thanks.
Thanks, Bob. Now let me show you how I used to do it when I was 53 years old. And I've been doing it since I was 35. I switched to overlap grip when I was 35. I'm now 78. So, yeah, that's a lot of years. And it was very rewarding to me. And I still use it and modify it a little bit. But, hey, you got to adjust. You got to adapt in this game as you get older. But the overlap grip is a technique that can help a lot of people, even the little guys that don't look for power.
We got a Canadian perspective, and I got my buddy Gary. Come over here and get in here. And this is Gary Benton, one of our favorites here. You know, he does all the intellectual stuff. He does all the intellectual stuff. But we want to talk about the overlap grip because Gary, that Gary right there, I said, you know, you could increase your distance by 10, 15 feet with the overlap grip. Come in a little bit, Gary. The other Gary, not you. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's hard when you got two Garys. But listen, and so I told Gary about it, and then he said to me something interesting, and I thought it was very knowledgeable in a way because, you know, I'm trying to get him to use the overlap grip, and I told him the advantage, and he said this to me. What did you tell me about the overlap grip?
It's more of a fundamental movement of the way the body should work, which is the hand. So this way you're crossing over. When it's like this, it's a more natural movement.
You're good.
That will cause less damage to your hand over time.
And that was a good point. And what do you guys say about that?
To his point, it's like a knuckle, like a universal joint. With one hand on there, it's a universal joint. It's almost like swinging a rope. It's very easy. So when you're going after those pitches that are borderline, where you have two strikes or whatever, it's easier to have that snap.
So now that's the point I want to get to, is the biggest thing that I always said that the overlap grip allows you to do is hit pitches you can't normally hit well with the conventional grip. And do you follow me? Do you want to explain that? Gary, do you believe that too? I mean, it's a fact, but
yeah,
you can believe it or not.
I believe that. The thing is, it's like it extends your lever, so you can reach balls because you got a little bit, maybe another inch or two on the bat that you don't have if you go with the traditional grip. So yeah, you're gonna be able to do that. But the thing that he was talking about, what I believe, and I think he's absolutely right and everything. A lot of people, they struggle when to sit there and break their wrist. You know, it's like, so they struggle with, so they don't have that secondary bat speed, as Bogey would call it. But when you use an overlap grip, it's automatic. You cannot hold that bat back. When you go, the wrists are just gonna, you know, they're gonna do exactly what they're supposed to do instead of just back here. So it just helps people who have trouble with getting that top hand over.
Well, the reason I changed 40 years ago, and I didn't know all this stuff. We didn't have YouTube, and I was just a player doing what, you know, and, you know, I was a big time guy who adapted to things. And I always thought that breaking your wrist was critical to getting a good hit, when, you know, in baseball for sure. And then I came out of baseball, went into softball. And then, you know, I figured, well, if I can break my wrist every time, I'm way ahead of the game. And you cannot not break your wrist when you use an overlap grip. You disagree with that?
No, that's an absolute truth.
That's the part about it. The low and the high swings, it's really hard to follow through with breaking your wrist.
Try to do the high swing with a standard grip.
Wow.
Hard to do, right? You can't.
You can't.
Well, you had the overlap grip.
It's not a normal movement of the human body when you got to try to go like this.
That works, but do it with a regular grip. Do it with a regular grip. You see, it go up high. Try to go over your head.
You can't go over.
And you'll see John Verani out here, and even Dan. Well, Dan, let's talk about how you hit that low pitch, and it used to be a problem for you when you used the standard grip.
When a low pitch is coming in, do I swing, don't I? And the problem when I was with the baseball grip is I would change, and I just found that when I was indecisive right off the bat, a lot of times it was like a like a 3/4 effort swing at best. With the overlap grip on that pitch, even if my mindset is the same, when it comes in and I swing, the wrist goes every single time, no matter what, and the ball is, I'm hitting a lot harder, aren't I?
Yeah, you hit a lot harder. You hit some bullets that are hard to get when you go reach out there. You know, a lot of times people say, oh, you got to hit a strike. Well, really in softball, you can hit any pitch you want, and a lot of times the ball is the best one to hit where you when there ain't nobody there. If you're hitting a great pitch, you may hit it to the standard 11 people out there. But if you're hitting a ball, that by definition is probably going to be a hit if you can strike it right. But you can't strike it right in it with a standard grip usually.
It gives you a better variety, a wider range of balls to hit with authority.
It gives you a bigger strike
when you
zone.
step into the box.
Well, I started a few years ago with a conventional grip.
Right, like a baseball grip?
Right. But I thought if I dropped a hand down, it would give me a little more bat length. Plus, when you're holding the bat like this, it makes you bring the bat head first instead of bringing your hands first.
Right. Okay. So you're getting some more bat speed there too?
Probably.
Right.
You know, to tell you the truth, you know, I do it because it feels the best for me.
Right. Okay. So what's comfortable is really what we should shoot for there in a grip, right?
There's 1,000 different ways that you can hold a bat, and I don't think anybody does it just the same.
Right.
So I think comfort is more important.
As far as when you're at the plate, what position?
I want to close with this. I don't disagree with Bob O'Brien often, and I respect his knowledge and experience, but on this point, I do disagree with him. I don't believe the overlap grip is just for big guys. In fact, I see it as a technique that can level the playing field. It can take a player who's close to hitting it out and turn him into a legitimate home run hitter, not by swinging harder, but by creating better leverage and bat speed. Is there documented research on this? Number, what I have is 60 years of softball experience, and over 40 of those years played at the highest levels of the game. I've helped countless players, recreational players, and elite players, and the results you've heard in this video are real. I played an estimated 6,000 softball games. In my younger years, I played over 300 games a year. That doesn't make me right about everything, but it does give me perspective, so I'll rest my case. The overlap grip is a tool. It's not magic, but it can help you improve your game if your mechanics are sound and you're willing to put in the work. And here's the golden rule. Don't quit when things go bad. Don't blame the grip. Go back, do the work, and get better. That's how this game and every game is really played.
Another shot hit in the direction of the left fielder Armitage, and he's just going to stand and watch that one go. Boy, it looks like